Jesus Christ. I can't like iron a shirt before I put it on. So much for that whole new year, new you vibe. I'm not going to iron my shirt for this because it's already on, and this is just my life. And I'm going to tell you what we are making today on the channel in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 282 of 365 days of soap, and we are doing body butters. And the reason we are doing body butters is because many months ago, I had done whipped body butters on the channel, and essentially just griped the entire time about the time suck of the process, because it is a very long process and I don't like making body butters for that reason. And someone had commented below and said, hey, if you just use shea butter, you don't have to melt it down, and so you can skip that tempering of the graininess and all of the things and take 20 minutes out of the process. And I'm like, I think there's a reason why I do it this way, and I couldn't really remember what that reason was. And so I thought, okay, cool, I will actually try the no melt way and see, what we come up with. And that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to show you what happens when you do not melt your shea butter down for a whipped body butter, and also how you can fix it, because spoiler alert, you need to melt your shea. Let's go check it out. Okay, this is actually a short video. It's short, sweet, and to the point. And the point is, melt your shea. But I'm gonna show you why right now. So this particular recipe is the same recipe that I used earlier on this year for the whipped body butters. And so it's a bunch of shea butter. And then, actually, it might not be exactly the same because I have avocado and apricot kernel oil in this. And I do think these oils are a little bit different because it is the winter months, and so I want to give more, big, nourishing oils than I would necessarily in the summer months. So more deep penetrating. So yes, all the shea, all the things, and we are whipping it up. And, cool. So far, so good. I have my paddle whip on the KitchenAid right now. And yeah, sure, we're whipping the things. And again, I am doing this because somebody had commented, and actually I got a couple messages in addition to that. And I have seen a number of people on forums and whatnot say, you don't need to melt down your shea. And cool. Well, we're not going to melt down the shea today. Let's see what happens. And so this has been whipping. I cut a whole lot of the whipping process out. So this will have whipped before I actually give it its big test for 25 minutes. And right now it will have whipped for at least 10 minutes before I add in the extra oils. And that would be, again, the avocado and the apricot oil. And again, the avocado is for the deep penetrating, the slow penetration, all of that jazz. For winter skin, you need more moisture, so you want it to sort of hit at different places, in your moisture care things. So Now that has been added, and it has been added at around 120 degrees, the oils themselves, which should mean that it should actually help melt down the rest of the kind of graininess within the shea. And so we will continue to whip and do its thing, and we will whip for another 10-ish minutes before we check this thing. And before we do all of that, we are of course going to put in the scent blend. Now this one is a blueberry vanilla because I can't get away from blueberries right now, guys. Like, I am obsessed with all things blueberries. So we're doing the thing. And also, yes, my voice sounds real weird right now. I'm sick, and it's not COVID. Okay? This happens every year. Every Christmas Eve I get sick, and I'm sick for like a month afterwards because I just push myself too hard during the holiday season. But so let's check this out and see. And oh yeah, no, gross. Do you see that? Do you see that graininess? Like, that's not that's not it. That's no. That's a no. But we're gonna whip it some more because maybe we will be able to break it down. I mean, who knows, right? Let's just see, because you know, I don't know all of the things about all of the things in the making of the things world, but I also know quite a bit. I mean, at this point, and there is a reason why I melt my shea butters, and so I'm kind of showing you what that reason is with this, you know, whole thing. And so it is whipped for another 10-ish minutes. So we are on 20 minutes of a whip, which actually, if you think about it, has not actually cut my time down at all, because when your sheas are like melted and held at heat for 20 minutes, you can go do other things. So that's not a real, you know, time that's spent on the actual product. But you know, cool. Let's go ahead and put the regular whippy attachment to it and see if that helps break down that graininess, because the graininess still exists. This is not, all of the whipping in the world is not going to make this graininess go away. Now, for that, like to that, I use unrefined shea because I want it to be as natural as possible, and I don't want all of the extra additives and all of the extra things that are put into a shea butter that makes it, you know, more refined or whatever. So that could have something to do with it. If you are using a refined shea, then maybe you're not dealing with this problem. But for me, this is a problem. Like, this is a thing. And you know, putting the regular whippy beater guy on the body butters, what am I left with? It's whippy. It has increased in volume, which is great. We definitely want that for a nice whipped body butter. But ultimately, we still have graininess. Like, it's still grainy. And so I'm going to test some on my skin and kind of see how I feel about this whole thing, you know, with gloves on, because that's the thing. And until I get it onto my skin, of course, and then like wiping it on with gloves and like rubbing it in, that's not fun for me. But yeah, no, that is grainy. Look at that. That does not, that feels like exfoliation. So I guess if you're wanting an exfoliating body butter, sure. Try to sell it like that, I guess. That's cool. But do you see the grains that are left behind? It's still, no, gross. That's not cool. So, I mean, if you're making it for yourself also, I think that's awesome. Like, you could do that. That's fine. But from a professional standpoint, like, why would you do that to your customers? Honestly. And so the best way, you can fix it right now, which is the only reason I did this video, because I knew it could fix it. So I'm going to put it in a heat-safe container, and I'm going to bring it to heat, and I'm going to let it sit for 20 minutes so all of that graininess can disappear. And then I will show you, you know, what happens in the melted and tempered and all the things stage in the next one. So again, luckily this is something that can be fixed. So what we did was we melted this down. We held it at heat at around 120, between 120 and 140 degrees for about 20 minutes. And then we popped it into the fridge to kind of chill for, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes. And then we take the paddle back to it. And you can already see like this, the consistency of this is delightful. This looks like a delicious buttercream frosting, which is what you should be going for in something like this. Yes. And unfortunately for this particular body butter, I have to do the whipping twice over. So it's still 20 minutes of freaking whipping in order to do what I need it to do. But that's okay, because again, at the end of the day, I'm going to have a product that's not grainy. That's not something that literally any person could make at home. And I am a big fan of makers doing the things and figuring out the stuff and whatever. But I'm sorry, but if you like find a recipe on like thespruce.com for a whipped body butter, and this is all it says to do, that's not making anything. You shouldn't be selling that, because that's not, like, literally any person at home could do that. They could go onto Amazon, buy the shea butter, and do the whippy whip thing. That's not about it. You actually have to have some pride in your work. And for that, like, oh, look at that. That looks delightful. You want to either, you know, rub it on your skin or eat it, or both. Like, look at that frosting, beautiful consistency, and it rubs in so nicely, penetrates so quickly. It does not leave you greasy. It is beautiful. It feels so good on the skin. There's no graininess. You don't have to sell it as an exfoliating soap, because what is that? That is weird, by the way. And then, yeah, there's the finished product in its awesome packaged glory. And yeah, melt your sheas. Do the thing. That is day 282, the shea butters. And there it is, the whipped body butters, the non-melt version, and then how to fix it. Just remelt it. Melt it, just melt it, and then let it sit to get rid of all that graininess. Now, if you are using like super ultra refined shea butter, then maybe this step is not necessary. Maybe you do not need to melt, but for me, I get as natural as possible shea that I can get my hands on. And so as a result, you end up with kind of like the kind of graininess, as well as like this sort of like, it looks like hair filaments as it separates. It's very cool, but you do want to get rid of that if you are doing a body butter, just for the professionalism vibe. Now, for personal use, if you just want to whip up your shea butter and then do that, totally, that's great. But if you're selling products, I totally do recommend you melting down your shea butters, letting it sit at heat for around 20 minutes to really remove the graininess in the overall finished product. Because again, you're selling it to the people and they're gonna want something really nice. And so that's how it gets done. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today and learned some cool stuff. If you are interested in the body butters, they are actually available at this exact minute on the website at soapandclay.com, and they will not be available for very long. So if you see this video the day after, they're gone. That's how the body butter life rolls around here. But yeah, you can totally find them at soapandclay.com right now. If you're interested in more soapy content or all of the things, you know, subscribe, do the things. That would be awesome. For those of you who are subscribed, hey, you're awesome. I hope your January, your 2021, has gone really awesomely so far. I'm going to say awesome a lot today because life is awesome, even though I have a super wrinkly shirt, but it's still awesome because it's cute. So yes, yeah, that does it for me today. I am out of here. I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of 365 days of soap. Bye.